So let me welcome no other person but our distinguished guest. He is the Vice-Chancellor, University of Botswana. Let's make welcome Professor David Norris.
Good morning. Good morning. Let me recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology and all the dignitaries that are here with us today. Let me just indicate that there would be an overlap in the topic that I've been given with the one that Professor Omole was also given, and therefore I may not dwell too much on some of the things that he has mentioned. And therefore, I'm going to try and move very quickly to why it's important that we enhance or promote internationalization in our universities, particularly in Africa. The Honorable Commissioner, you said something profoundly important and very truthful, which is that for most of us, when we're studying abroad, as soon as we finished our studies, we rushed back to our countries. And that is no longer the case. And that is something that we really truly should reflect upon. Why is that the case? Are we investing appropriately in education in Africa? Are we investing appropriately in the infrastructure to support education in Africa? And you are also very right to say we are actually developing other countries which are already developed, and we go further to develop them, which is really something that we must reflect upon. I must say, in terms of research and development, for instance, we are saying as African countries, we must spend at least 3% of our GDP on research and innovation. None of the African countries even come close to spending 1% of their GDP in research. These are the things that we must reflect upon. And I think for Africa, time for talk must really end. I think it's time that we start implementing some of the agreements that we have. These are some of the benefits. I think Professor Omole, you've already indicated them. The cultural experience, the global mindset that our young people and all those who participate may gain, the building of soft skills, which are really critical. These are some of the things that of course, we call them soft skills. For me, sometimes I'll say these are really the hard skills. But I must say these are some of the things: communication, being able to adapt to different environments, empathy, because you have different perspectives on how other people lead their lives, and different perspectives on culture. Building connections, very, very important. As you know, if you connect, then you are creating opportunities for yourself. So these are really some of the things that Professor Omole has already ably touched on. And of course, career opportunities. Yes, career opportunities. This is where we have a problem now. You go out there, study, and you never come back because of what I had indicated earlier, that we are not providing a nurturing environment, a conducive environment for people to come back and serve us in Africa. Of course, as I mentioned, those career opportunities are largely because of the international outlook that you'll be having, language proficiencies, because you go out there and learn other languages. And then importantly, it improves the academic quality. Financial gain has already been mentioned. Actually, for most universities, I must say without hesitation that for most universities in the West, this is really for financial gain most of the time. It's for financial gain. And I think that must be said. Now, I think it's important, and I think I highlighted this, that international education doesn't mean studying only in Europe or the USA. And I think this is where our young people get it wrong. They tend to think international education is just studying abroad. You can go to Ghana, you can go to Botswana, you can go to South Africa, you can go to Rwanda. That's international education. And therefore we should not shun away from going to our own universities because they can add value. They can add value. Let me say this, even the best universities or the best so-called universities in the world, the Harvards of this world, the Cambridges of this world, they don't excel in everything. They don't excel in every discipline. And therefore you may find that you'd get more value in going and taking some discipline at Makerere University, University of Botswana, University of Ibadan. By the way, as you've rightly pointed out, Honorable, Ibadan was really the cornerstone of proper quality education at some point. And these are the things that we must revive. And we must not shy away from reviving our institutions which were excelling. Makerere University was also is still a powerful, but we can take it back to its greater heights. And this is what we ought to be doing. Now, these are the recent trends in internationalization. We've seen growth in international program. We've seen increase in branch campuses all over. We've seen increase in partnerships in terms of engagement and research. We've seen increase in global mobility in terms of our students and staff. And we've seen an exponential growth in online degrees. These are the things that we see. But what is really internationalization? I think I want to just give two descriptions of what internationalization is. The first one by Albach, 2002, he says, is specific strategies and innovations of countries and educational institutions aimed at converging with global trends, including strategies for attracting international students, inter-university scientific partnerships, and the establishment of overseas academic branches. Another definition is internationalization is the process of integrating an international, intercultural, or global dimension into the purpose, functions, or delivery of postgraduate education. Jones, and I like what Jones says. He says it emphasizes the social responsibility of higher education. Social responsibility, because it should not just be about going somewhere else. It should be what value you give to our communities in terms of improving livelihoods in those communities. So internationalization of higher education must be of benefit for the wider community at home or abroad through education, research, service, and international or cross-cultural engagement. Now, this is just, I have a diagram here of what is comprehensive internationalization. It's all about student mobility, articulated institutional commitment. That is very, very, very important because most of the time we don't, especially in our African universities, we don't take internationalization very seriously. There's no institutional commitment to internationalization. And for most of us, we see it as just people going on a tour. Students going there, seeing what the US is all about, what Europe is all about, and most of them will be receiving students from Europe coming to tour. It should be more than that. And importantly, there has to be a structure that supports internationalization. There has to be an administrative leadership that will drive internationalization. The structure, as I said, and there has to be proper staffing for the international office. Curriculum must also be internationalized. And this could be done through core curriculum, core creation, and having specific learning outcomes, knowing exactly what is it that we want to gain out of internationalization. And then importantly, there has to be policies. We don't have policies on internationalization. There has to be faculty policies and faculty practices that would guide internationalization. Now, I think it was very, very important for me to distinguish between two internationalization types: internationalization abroad and internationalization locally, because you can do both. Internationalization abroad, of course, is performance of educational activities abroad. This could be student exchange, taking course credits from another university, establishment of branch campuses, research programs abroad. But now this is the most common, and this is what usually people would want, because they want to travel outside the country. But not everybody would have an opportunity to leave the country because of financial impediments and so forth. And therefore, you can promote internationalization locally. This would be through infusion or integration of international and intercultural dimensions into the formal and informal curriculum within a local learning environment. This can include virtual and online learning, and therefore you can be here and take classes from MIT. You can be here and take classes from Harvard. You can be here and take classes from University of Ghana or Botswana, South Africa, wherever. So that's internationalization. You are bringing it into a local environment. So these are really some of the things that we should be thinking about and strengthening. Very, very important that we strengthen internationalization within our own environment. The reality is that the flow of human and financial capital is mainly towards the developed country. And this is something that we must reverse. All the time, it's one way to Europe, one way to... Who gains? We don't gain much. And therefore, what we do is really to be complementing and adding value to those who already have everything that they need. This is something that we need to reverse. The flow should be bidirectional. It should be both ways, not only one way. Now, these are some of the challenges. I think the biggest challenges with us, with the reason why we don't internationalize properly, is that, and this is what I showed earlier, we don't have clear policies and guidelines. This is one of the financial problems. One of the things that we always like saying in Africa is that we do have. We are rich. It's just that there's no will to do certain things. There's no will. There has to be a will to do things. And then inadequacy of scientific facilities and equipment. That's what I'm saying. Let's invest in facilities that will support quality education in Africa. We cannot be saying we lack, we don't have this forever. Because I think when I was growing up, when I went to university, I had this thing 30 years ago. I don't want to hear it in the next 30 years. We cannot be hearing, these are the challenges forever. We must be talking about, these are the solutions, so that we move forward. Financial and physical resources challenges. We talk about all these challenges, but we should not be talking of challenges. We should be talking of solutions and intensifying, broaden, enhance internationalization, promote quality education, bring people into our continent, develop this continent, and for all of us, there should be economic prosperity through education. You're honorable, as you mentioned. Thank you very much.